installment of our Elul Drasha series, recognizing that Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are fast approaching, and we want to optimize and make sure we can be the most efficient and effective in our Elul Avodah, culminating Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Second installment, we have a big schus to give from Rabbi Glatt, who's a teacher of Beis Yaakov, and my daughters have been very, very mushba from Rabbi Glatt, who infuses hashkafa into the halach that he teaches, and he's a well-known speaker around town. Someone's telling me today their daughters listen to you every night on Nucky Radio, what's it called, I think? So it has a profound impact on many, many people. So I was supposed to hear from Rabbi Gedalya.
Thank you so much. The first thing I have to say, it's a chus yesterday, it was chus. This is a beautiful show. I mean, it's the first time I've been here, and I'm just so happy for everybody. I'm happy that you have such a love. I'm happy that you have such a show. I think it's great. Anyway, so I'm very happy to be here. So I did a couple of things on my mind that I'd like to share with you. We have to try to maximize as much as we can these days. A couple of thoughts to think about, a couple of perspectives I think are very important. The first is, Ein lanu l'yishayin el HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The matzah that we have in the world today, as everybody knows, is increasingly clear. Ein lanu al mi l'yishayin, ein ela al HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's clear. I'd like to introduce a letter that was written by Rav Shlomo Werdiger, who's I think the chairman of the Aguda, that he was in Washington when Netanyahu spoke. So he was speaking a little bit. He writes a little bit about how they were together with Netanyahu and they davened mincha together and they ate together. And he was discussing about how beautiful it was. But then he said all of that is just external. One small part of the story at most. There was another dimension to the speech, one that was not captured by the cameras, and this was the undercurrent of antipathy that pervaded certain sections of the floor of the House as the Prime Minister spoke. As he spoke, there was, he calls it antipathy. The level of animus was disconcerting. And the source of it was even more alarming. Our quote-unquote friends, those who have graced our dinners and smilingly greeted our askonim over the years, the ones that pledged their love for our people at every opportunity and saw it as politically convenient to stand public with us, have switched sides. It was worrisome, but also in a strange way empowering, because it was a stark reminder that we are in the Ribbono Shel Olam's hands, and only in his hands, with no other friends or allies to count on. Ein lanu al mi lihisha. Ein, we have no place else to turn. Now this was said by Shlomo Werdiger, the chairman of Aguda. So I find it a parallel to the Gemara in Megillah that asks why Esther invited Haman to the party. You want to reveal to Achashverosh that you're Jewish and that Achashverosh should save your nation, so reveal that you're Jewish. You want to have a party, have a party. Invite an arch enemy to the party. I mean, why on earth would you do that? So the Gemara gives a number of answers. One of the answers the Gemara gives is that Esther was concerned that the Bnei Yisrael, as much as they were crying and begging and davening to the Ribbono Shel Olam and fasting, everything, but she was concerned that at least one tiny drop of their hearts felt that they have a quote-unquote sister in the palace. And therefore, she wanted to pull the rug out from under such a notion. She really was very brave and very courageous. Her heart bled for her people, but she wanted to give the impression she was a traitoress, and she was inviting Haman to the party in order to make sure that he was good with her, like she was trying to save her skin. You know, come Haman. That's the reason why. She was currying favor with Haman. That's the impression that she was trying to give. Now, why would she try to give that impression? Because she knew that somewhere there was a vague notion that we have a sister in the palace, we don't have to worry, Esther will take care of it. So that can't be. That can't be. We have to be totally HaKadosh Baruch Hu, only HaKadosh Baruch Hu, only HaKadosh Baruch Hu, nothing, nobody else. And so that's what she wanted. So therefore, I found it noteworthy. As soon as I read this article, that word empowering, that Mr. Werdiger puts in, I found it empowering. Why? Because it gives us power. Why? Because when we know that there's nobody except HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then that gives us power. And I quote for you a Medrash Rabbi in Esther. The Medrash discusses after Esther told Mordechai that the Bnei Yisrael should fast. And then the Torah tells us, the Medrash says what she did. Va'es ahi. At the time that Esther, after Mordechai went to announce to the Bnei Yisrael that they had to fast, Va'es Esther nifchedes me'od. She was very frightened, Esther. Mipnei hara asher tzamcha b'Yisrael. Because of the evil that had come upon Klal Yisrael. Tispalel v'tomar. Listen to the tefillah Esther. I'm just skipping here. Some of the points of her tefillah. Tispalel v'tomar. And Esther davened, and she said, Hashem Elokei Yisrael. Hashem Ashalta Yimei Kedem, that you ruled from the days of old, the Barosas Olam. Azor Noam Osecho. Please help your servant. Hashem Isharti Yisoma V'li'avei. I'm Yisoma, I'm an orphan, I have no father, I have no mother. You're the Dayan Almonos. Ya'avi Yisoma in Dayan Almonos. Have mercy on me. Ato Avi Yisomim Amod No Liyamina Yisomazos. Stand by the right hand of this Yisoma. Asher B'chastechom Botcha. She's relying on you. Okay. I want to stop here and underscore the last three words. Asher Botcha. Asher B'chastechom Botcha. Asher B'chastechom Botcha. She included those three words. She said she's begging Ribono Shalom have mercy. She didn't forget to say Asher B'chastechom Botcha. That this maidservant of yours, Hashem, is relying on you. I'm relying on you. Now what happened? The Medrash continues. When she came in, unannounced, what was Achashverosh's reaction? Esther came into the throne of Tamud Lefanov, the Melech Yoshev al Kisei Malchusam, and the king was sitting on his throne. Vayisa Eino Vayar Esther. He saw Esther standing opposite him. Now the Megillah, it does not mention what the Medrash is going to mention now. The Megillah just mentions he put out his scepter and she touched it and everything was fine. That's not what the Medrash says. The Medrash said, Vayar Esther Omedes. Mativar bocha mosel meod. He was furious with her. He was livid with rage when she came in. Al asher, Hafra Toroso. She went against his halacha. She went against his rules. She came without being called. Esther, take one look at his face. She knew she was a goner, Esther. So the Teres B'nei HaMelech B'nei Eno Keish Boros. It was like boiling with fire. So she Vatekar Malkos Ketzev HaMelech Vatisbahel. She became disoriented. She became she lost it a little bit, and she kind of fell on the side of the maidservant that was with her. Vayar Elokeinu, and Hashem saw. Vayachmol al amo, and he had mercy on his people. Vayifen litzar hayusoma, and he turned to the tsar of the Yisoma, asher botcha bo, who relied on him. You hear that? He turned to the Yisoma, asher botcha bo, Those are the three words that I wanted to underscore before. She didn't forget when she was davening, I'm relying on you, I'm relying on you. You're the only one that's going to do it. And you see Rabbosai, why does the Medrash say it? The Medrash only includes words that are extremely important, critical words. So for the Medrash to say that Hashem turned to Esther, the Yisoma Asher Bat Chabo, the fact that she was Bat Chabo is critical to this whole story. And then what happens is what we read in Megillah. All of a sudden he started to see stars. Hashem came into his mind. Ooh, Esther. Ooh. He saw beauty upon beauty and majesty upon majesty. Ooh. And he jumped up and he ran over to her and said, "Oh, don't be worried, my queen. The law's not for you." What happened? The 1 minute before, he was ready to kill her. It was a nace. What am I saying here? I'm saying over here, I thought that Shlomo Berger's words were phenomenal. What we see is that we can't rely on nobody. Nothing but the Rabbi. So, we have to remember, Ein lanu ami l'hishayin, it's only Hashem Yisborach. The mitzvah, lo yeh l'cha Elohim, Achayim al panai, I saw a Pirushon, I think it's the Chinuch. Lahamin, what is the mitzvah here? Lo yeh l'cha Elohim achayim, don't have any other gods. What does it mean don't have any other gods before me? There are no other powers, no power in the world except HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Pirush said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu be'atzmo b'chvodo, mashgiach b'chol olamos. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mashgiach over everything. Hashem is mashgiach over everything. Ve'ein l'shum nivra koach lasos davar b'lti ritzon. And nobody can do anything without the Ratzon Hashem. We go into the Yomim L'Royim. Yomim L'Royim is a gewaltig time. Yomim L'Royim is huktish. It's these days of huktish for the Ratzon Habore. The huktish. It's a time I saw. It's like the Beis Hamikdash is in space. The Yomim L'Royim is in time. It's like we're moving into a zone of kedusha of the Yomim L'Royim. Just like there's such an inspiration, there's such a chizuk. Can you imagine going into the Beis Hamikdash? There's a chizuk going into Yomim L'Royim. It's such an awesome time. It's such a special time. It's such a time of closeness, of dveikus, when Hashem accepts our tshuva. There's so much to be done. There's so much to be done. There's so much power we have. We don't realize the power that we have. On Yomim L'Royim, what we can elicit from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we can bring down such wondrous brachas on Klal Yisrael. No other time in the year we have this power. If we have, therefore, if we see what's going on, what you say, who knows what's going to happen and what's going on, the news media and how they paint us and what the non-Jewish world thinks about it. If all of this, by the way, we shouldn't dwell on it too much. I strongly suggest not to get too involved in it. Don't listen to the news and don't listen to, what you need to know. No, don't become, let it not beguiling. Our thoughts, especially during this time, Rosh Hashanah, you may Torah, tshuva. What can I do? How can I better myself? How can I stretch myself? How can I get closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom? This is the time of Sugul for this. This is the time that we're so close to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Hashem will bring us closer to Him. He listens to us, and he wants to bless us, and he wants to take us as His own, and He wants us to do tshuva. He wants us to come closer to Him, not to be so involved in all of this. But if the impact of what's going on in the world today will bring us a step closer to the realization that Ein lanu l'ishon ela HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then it's a davar gadol ad me'od. The davar gadol. Beautiful. I'm so happy. And like he's saying, it's empowering. That's what Rudiger's saying. It's empowering. Yeah, that's right. That little corner of my mind that thought I had a sister in the palace. So, okay, I don't have a sister in the palace. Out. It's only Rabbanu Shalom. And that's a source of tremendous, tremendous strength. Number one. That's the first thing I had in my mind. In order to focus our attention, aim lanu rishonim el ala kadosh baruch Hu. The second thing I want to talk about is that the koach that everyone has to do through the koach of tefillah, through the koach to daven to the Ribono Shel Olam. I want to quote to you Mesilas Yesharim. It's a striking Mesilas Yesharim. I think Rabbosai, I'll set it up. One of the worst things is to underplay the koach that we have. Is to not be aware of what I can do and what can I achieve. I'm going to sit in my seat. I don't know if it sits here. I'm going to sit in my seat. And a yom in the royal. At this seat. And I have my machzor. Boy, I'm going to fly. I'm going to beg the Rosh. I'm going to exercise my muscles. I'm going to work on bringing down the brachos of Hashem on me and my family, my community, and Klal Yisrael. And also the Geula, all the Gush Shlema too. Right from right here. Right there from this seat. Every other seat. The koach, we have immense. It's not a joke. It's not a guzman. It's nothing. It's mamash emes. It's true. I'll call for you. I don't know if you believe it. Of course you believe it. Mesilas Yesharim says. He said there's a chazal that says that everyone mis'ana u'meitza l'kavod Yerushalayim. Everybody should be mis'ana, should mis'ava rather, should long for and have sorrow for the kavod of Yerushalayim. In other words, we should daven for the Geula. We should daven that Yerushalayim should be restored, Beis Hamikdash rebuilt, Mashiach should come, and we'll go back to serving Hashem with Shleimus 613 mitzvahs. Everybody should work, should want that, should strive for that, should daven for that. And then he says, V'im yomar adam. This is the language of the Mesilas Yesharim. V'im yomar adam. If a man will say, Mi ani, who am I? Umani safun. What am I worth? What are you saying? Shespalel al golus. I should daven for the end of the golus, al Yerushalayim, and the rebuilding of Yerushalayim. Hamipnei tefillah asi, because of my tefillah. Yuchnasu Agolius. The Titzmach Yeshua. Yeshua is going to come because of my tefillah. Who are you kidding? I'm one little person, and there's a whole sea of people in Klal Yisrael, and it didn't happen in the previous generations, and why would it happen now? So it sounds like it's just a nice thing, really. It really doesn't make any impact, but Hashem wants you to think that it does make an impact. If that was the case, so that's not what he answers. Tshuvaso b'tzido. The answer is right at hand. Chazal say in the Gemara Sanhedrin, Lefikach nivra adam yechidi. Therefore was every person created as one. Kidei shekol echad yomar. That everybody should say, Bishvili nivra ha'olam. The world was created for me. Well, that's the answer. What kind of answer is that? What's the answer? How's the answer to the question? The question was, I'm supposed to believe that if I daven for the Geula is going to come. Am I supposed to believe that? And he answers by saying, the world was created for you. Now, what does that mean, the world was created for me? That means if there be nobody else in the whole world except me, it's worth it for Hashem to create the world. That's true. That's true. If every single one of us here, if we would be the only one in the world, there would be an entire universe. There'd be this world and all of the galaxies, and that's only the little world that we see. And then above that, the Olamos Elyonos, the countless worlds, heavenly worlds above that, the entire thing, one person. One person. That's what it said. That's what Chazal said. That's not an exaggeration, that's the truth. Now, why? So that you'll know who you are. So that you get in touch with your greatness. You don't sell yourself short. Yukai has such an enormous impact in what you do, and what we say, and what we think, everything. That's what Mephoshim say. What we do, what we say, what we think, at all. We can't fathom the impact that we have. We can't. So that's what Ramchal means. Therefore, a person say, if you'll say, who am I? If I should daven for the Geula. So who am I? I should daven, they should stop our war in Gaza. And then the Hezbollah should self-destruct. And all of our enemies and everything's on should fade away. And the world should see. Bayom ahu yiyeh Hashem echad v'shmo echad. We're daven for it. Who am I should daven for them? If we don't realize the koach that we have, it's I don't want to say criminal, but it's selling out. It's selling short what you could do for Klamis. Rather you have to think, no, from my seat, wherever I am, it's like missiles. It's like ballistic missiles against the enemy from where I am. My davening, my tshuva, my tefillah. Can't sell ourselves short. Can't sell ourselves short. I wanted to mention another. That is a statement Rabbi Salant. With tshuva, that you were supposed to be doing, you have to be doing tshuva. Who remembers everything we've done? I don't know. By the way, I think it's a good idea. Before Yom Kippur, for sure. Take an index card and write down categories. Home, shul, work, whatever categories you want. And think of a couple of shortcomings in those categories, if there are any. How are you at minyan? So, how am I at attendance at minyan? How am I on time? Whatever, the shul. And how am I at home? How do I talk to my wife? How do I talk to my mother? Am I helpful around the house? A lot of things to think about. So you just take the index card, write it down, a little thing here. There's something to go on, So I put it in your machzor. And then when Yom Kippur comes, Al Chet, you would talk about Al Chet, and then I look at that index card. Ooh. Okay, come on. Gotta improve. It's gold. And it's not pro forma. I really mean it. I'm really sincere about it. It's beautiful. Now, unless the person, think, well, there's so much, I really don't know. I don't remember what I did. I can't really remember everything. I can't remember, but remember something. But then I want to tell you something startling. It's a statement by Rabbi Salanto. This is beautiful. He says like this: Mik shekibel al atzmo be'emes lilmod musar b'chol yom. A person is makabel upon himself to learn musar every day. Rehu begather osei tshuva. He's a person who's he's doing tshuva. L'chara kasha, says the Rosh Hashiva. My Rabbi Libu is Zeichat Tzadik Kosh L'Vrachim Chofetz Chaim Yeshiva in Queens. So he says, l'chara, there's a kasha. So lama hu begather osei tshuva. Ein kan charata. What's tshuva? Tshuva is charata. Tshuva is regret. We know that the tshuva is regret, charata, and aziva sachet, together with kabbalah alamba and vidu. So how did you say learn Musa? You've done it. How did I do it? I didn't do it. Learning Musa. What do you mean I've done tshuva? L'chara kasha, lama hu begather osei tshuva, are ein kan charata, and there's no kabbalah ba. Tzarich lomar, ki min shekarov levadai, shel yilmud musa b'kol yom, yaviu lebesof lecharata al ha'orar v'kabbalah al ha'ba. He'll do everything. L'chein HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'chasdo, Hashem in His chesed, donu ki'ilu hu kevar nischaret al over v'osa kabol al alos. And Hashem considers it, okay, you've done it right. He didn't do it yet. But since He's definitely going to do it, because that's what Musar does, Musar transforms us. Musar is undeniable. If a person is Musar every day, it's undeniable that what's going to happen. What's going to happen. Doesn't say that about Gemara. The Heilige Gemara. Lifeblood of Klal Yisrael, but Musar has an effect, a particular effect, transforming individual. So it's an assist when we're doing tshuva, and it's encouraging. You make if we make. I was makabel from my Rabbi that my Rabbi said you don't go to, if you come home at 2:00 in the morning, you didn't learn Musa yet, you don't go to sleep until you learn Musa. You don't go to sleep. That was a directive from my Rabbi. Don't go to sleep. Now learn. You got to do it. Chassam Sofer said he learned Musa every day in his shir. Chassam Sofer, every day. And the Chassam Sofer said any day that he doesn't learn Musa, he felt the karirus. He felt the cooling down of his avodas Hashem. The Chassam Sofer said that. So it's taking upon ourselves the idea of just a few minutes a day to learn Musa. And there's so many Musa Sfarim, the classical Musa Sfarim, Shorim, Shari Tshuva, Chovas Halavavos, Orchos Tzadikim. In English, art school is phenomenal, by the way. Art school is phenomenal. They have, I have some of the, I've had Misos Shorim and Chovas Halavavos, Shari Tochan, and in the art school is fabulous, like art school does. It's a fabulous job. It really explains it beautifully. So it's, I'm putting this out as a suggestion. It's just it's an amazing idea. You get credit. So I learn Musa every day, Bli Neder. I mean, so I guess I get credit for it too. Osik B'Tshuva. I'm doing Tshuva. What a great tool this is. And Rabbi Yisrael Salanta says it. So there's that, and also not to get discouraged. Even as we're thinking, and Rabbi says another thing, that if we think about things that we've done in the past, then don't get down. Don't feel bad about ourselves. Chas v'sholom. That ruins everything, and you can't make any progress. Don't get down. And if I did something I'm really not happy, I know a story of somebody who said an egregious lashon hara. Egregious. It was terrible. Really terrible. And he wanted to do tshuva for it. So you know what he did? After he asked him mechila, the whole business, but he felt, how's he gonna become comfortable with himself anymore? He felt so bad over what he did. You know what he decided to do? To learn Shmiras Haloshin, as the Chofetz Chaim say for Shmiras Haloshin. It's all of the Chazalin on the beauty of Shmiras Haloshin, watching what we say, and the horror of not watching what we say. Every night I'm going to learn Shmiras Haloshin. So the Rosh Hashiva L'maisa mentions that if a person did something bad, something wrong, if he thinks of a tikkun for it and latches it onto it, so now he's encouraged. If I think about the thing that I did, but look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing now. It's very positive. Everything's positive. If we feel ourselves getting down, it's treif, mamish. That's the indicator. Klor indicator that we're on the wrong track. Klor. If it leads us down, it's klor that we're on the wrong track. Only if we feel positive. We have to direct positive, and when the Yom Nuraim comes. Heard a story, and I'm just about out of time. I just wanted a story I heard just this morning about Rabbi Baxt Zatzal. Rabbi Baxt, the Rosh Hashiva in Detroit. Many years ago, got a call from an Aguna. She wanted to know if she could get married again. It was a very complicated case, and he did not know the answer. So he said to the lady, I have to call Rav Moshe on this. I have to get Rav Moshe to answer this. I don't know. Call Rav Moshe Feinstein said, it's not a question for Rav Moshe said, it's a very complicated problem. question. I don't have an answer. He didn't have an answer. He said, call me back at the beginning of Elul. Go back at the beginning of Elul. Why Elul? Because Elul, you may rachamim. I said, Ms. Rachamim, Rachmanas on us. Maybe Hashem will give me an answer. I don't know. I had to be extremely complicated about Moshe not to know, but he did. Anyway, so Rabbi calls him at the beginning of Elul, and Moshe said, didn't come to me yet. Call me in the middle of Elul. We're getting closer to Rosh Hashanah. Can you call me in the middle of Elul? Go back to the middle of Elul. Call me after Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, Mamish, and Aseres Ve'Tshuva. Where the Yemei Rachamim V'Ratzon is the height. Hashem is so close to us. Call me then. Call after Rosh Hashanah. Hashem hasn't let me know yet. Hasn't let me know. Call me Moshe Yom Kippur. Call me Moshe. Call Moshe Yom Kippur. Moshe was so excited. He said, it came to me in the Elul. In the Elul, it came to me. Answer, she's mutter. She can get married again. The whole, it gelled at the Elul. When that crescendo, when the Kedusha and the Chavivus and the Dveikus between Klal Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch was the height. At the height. That's when it came. That's when it came to the Moshe. You see, parenthetically, what was Rav Moshe thinking about during Elul? How can I help in Zagun? You think about, Rav Moshe. When I was a bacher, I got up early in the morning. I lived in Queens. It was dark outside. I wanted to go to MTJ, my sister Teres Yerushalayim, to see Rav Moshe's face. That's all I wanted. See his face. As I was saying, you see the face of a gadol. Abbeinu HaKadosh saw the back of Rabbi Meir. That's why he said he was better than his chaverim. I saw the back of Rabbi Meir. I would have seen him from the front. I would have been better. I would have been greater. Anyway, I got up early in the morning. I remember walking through the streets of Forest Hills. It was dark outside to take the F train in Continental Avenue. I don't know if you know Forest Hills. I saw him. It's Gedalya. I saw him. I was looking. From the back. And then I was surprised. And I saw everybody up after the shop, regular shop, with everybody getting up to say good morning to Rav Moshe. I say good morning to Rav Moshe. I'll also get to say good morning. So I got online too. I got online also. I'm walking. Finally, Rav Moshe is in front of me. So he said something, but I don't speak Yiddish. I don't know what he said. So there's somebody who was standing there. He said, he wants to know your name. So I told him my name. And Moshe said something else, which I don't know what it was. But I know it's good. I know it's good. I know I've been benefiting from that, whatever it was, all these years, no question about it. Anyway, that was my Rav Moshe. Anyway, there's Rav Moshe. What was he thinking about during the Elul? In summation, I spoke to a member of the Aguda. He said, Tzorchei Yisrael Rabin Heim. Tzorchei Yisrael Rabin Heim. Rabbi said, what we have to remember is two things. We have nobody except Hashem. And the koach that we have from our seats to be able to effectuate from the Rebbeinu Shalom. Brachas for Klal. And the ability Hashem listens to our tefillas and can bring the end of the golas, because I say, because the whole world was created for me, and Hashem is listening. Oh, my dear Moshe, my dear Yankov, my dear Yitzi, what is he saying? Hashem is looking and listening. He wants the Geula to come. My Yitzi wants the Geula to come. It's not Hashem's. I want to wish everybody good, sweet year. And may we all together see brachas ad ein sof in the upcoming.